welcome to the preview and the predicted lineup. Newcastle against Arsenal this weekend. And I'll tell you something. We need to put the we need to make the wrongs right from last season, because yeah, it wasn't the most consistent. As you know, tomorrow Super Sunday 4:30. Arsenal take on Newcastle at St James's Park, and I look at that and I feel St James's Park, you know, atmosphere. You know, it's an unbelievable stadium as well. And yeah, like, listen, I mean, obviously they've got the big stadium, they've got passionate fans, and obviously it's going to be difficult. It's going to be really difficult. Obviously, they had, like I just mentioned, they have the fans there. They can get they can probably get the team behind them. We have a little small section of our away fans. I don't know how actually much people are going up to the game. Whether it's a large amount of fans, a small amount of fans, I haven't got a clue. I wish I did know, to be fair. As a supporter, me watching at home, yeah, no, it's going to be interesting to see what our atmosphere is there like tomorrow. You know, because I take it back to last season. I take it back to the season before. We went to St James's Park twice last season, lost 2-0 and lost 1-0. You know, we can't have a repeat of last season. We cannot have a repeat of last season. It's that simple. Liverpool play Crystal Palace at 3 o'clock today. Obviously, I'm looking at it, then I'm thinking, right, Liverpool Palace, the two unbeaten sides, meeting each other. They could put the gap to 8 points before we play. If we play and lose, we'll be sitting here Sunday evening, scratching our heads and thinking, fuck me. You know. But listen, I do think we can go ahead and we can win this game, and I think we have what it takes to do it. I feel Arteta's got to get the team selection right. Oh, of course, there is no Alexander Isak anymore, so we don't have to worry about him. But I feel like it's been difficult for us in the last few seasons, because not because of Newcastle, because of Eddie Howe, the way he sets them up. You know, very advanced football, very dominant football, very, you know, fast to the flow kind of football, and we're gonna have to be careful, you know, because we can get caught out. They've got some quality players in that side. You know, Nick Voltemala, he's a big fucker, and he's the new striker they have as well. What's he, 6'4", 6'5", big. He's a big fucker. Jacob Murphy. He's another one. He's a very good player. I rate him. Obviously they have, you know, the likes of Joe Linton in midfield, Bruno Guimaraes and Tonali and this and that. So listen, we just got to go there and we just got to put the wrongs right from last season. You know, it's that simple. We can't go there and have another defeat up there. You know, because that'll be unacceptable. You know, that would really be unacceptable if we went there and lost again. Arteta's got to go ahead and he's got to get this team selection right. You know, he's got to, you know, manage players' minutes. You know, I feel the Port Vale game in the week was the kind of game that you can give the big players a rest for this. You know, and that's what Arteta's gone and done. You know, and honestly, if you're talking about it through a neutral perspective, a few highlights I just want to point out as well, actually. we have the best defensive record in the league over the past 2 seasons. David Raya's won the Golden Boot, the Golden Glove back to back for the past 2 seasons. One of the only teams last season David Raya couldn't keep a clean sheet against was Newcastle, and the year before, Newcastle. Away. At home we seem to be alright against them, but away we struggle. We do struggle. The fact that we're away as well, it's annoying. It's a bit of a piss take. The fact that we're the away side and this and that. But listen, we have to go there. We have to show up and we have to do what we did against, let's say, Leeds, for example. And listen, I don't want to go there and lose, you know. And like I've already addressed, like I've already said, you know, they have big threats in there. You know, Nick Voltamada, Murphy. There would be Wizard in there as well, but he's injured. So yeah, no, listen, with that said, let's go and get into the predicted lineup. Starting off in goal will be David Raya. I bring him back in for the game. I feel obviously Kepa played during the week, looked very comfortable, this and that. On the ball movements were very good, but I feel David Raya is number one. You've got to play him, simple as that. Into the back four, left back, Calafiori. I don't think Lewis Skelly had the worst of games during the week, but Arteta's obviously looked at it now and said, right, Calafiori's my number one left back, and that's why he was rested. He was one of the players that got a full-on rest, didn't even come off the bench, so perfect. He's ready to go, he's rested, he's ready to go. Into the centre-back partnership, first of all, Gabriel, again, a very, very straightforward choice, was only on for about 10 minutes in that Port Vale game. Looked alright, I suppose. There were times where I feel, I mean, he didn't need to come on, but he came on anyway, so forward. Next to him, William Saliba. Of course, we heard the news yesterday that he's going to be signing a new contract at Arsenal. Shows his loyalty to the club, you know, showing his loyalty to the club, and you've got to show it on the pitch as well, and not just off the pitch. You know, you've got to show that, you know, you're able to handle the pressure, you know, because don't get me wrong, Saliba is one of the best centre backs in the world, but sometimes in these big games he falters. You get where I'm going. He's going to need to be on it. Right back will be Julian Timber. Bring him back in for the game. Didn't play during the week. Again, was one of them players who didn't really come off the bench. Wasn't seen against Port Vale. That's a good thing though. He can get ready for this and he can be fired up and ready to go again. So yeah, into the midfield, first of all, Martin Zubimendi. Of course, he got a rest as well. Didn't come off the bench either. He is going to be up against the likes of Joe Linton and the likes of Sandro Tonali and Bruno Guimaraes, who I feel are 3 very good midfielders, especially Joe Linton. I rate Joe Linton a lot. I don't like him as a person, but I feel as a player, he's a quality player. And Zubimendi's had quite a bit of an up and down start to the season. You know, of course he got those 2 goals against Forest a few weeks ago. If that's the Zubimendi we see all season, he's the one that controls the game. He's the one who controls the game. You know, it's that simple. You know, you can't leave Joe Linton, Guimaraes, Tonali open. They're gonna go through you like a rocket. You know, Zubimendi needs to be on it. It's that straightforward. Just in front of him, Declan Rice. I feel with him being more of the number 8, I feel he can invert more forward. He can drive the ball forward. And kind of open a bit of space to go into with the 2 wingers and the striker, you know. And I feel Declan Rice for this game is going to be very crucial. You know, if we want to break down Newcastle's lines, Declan Rice is the man. I feel if you get him on the ball and you get the ball pumping, he's going to be the one to do it. So straightforward for me. Into the attacking 3 on the left hand side, Eberechi Eze. I'd put him back out there. I feel I at times he was out there against Port Vale. Of course, he scored a goal against Port Vale as well. Obviously, his best position is in the number 10, but it will make sense in a moment why I'm throwing him on the wing. But then again, he's going to be up against Tino Livramento, so I want to see the best of him. I want to see the best of Eze. You know, straightforward. You know, he's really got to shine. Through the middle, Martin Odegaard. I feel he will be back for the game after his injury. I feel he'll come back into the side, and that's why I'm putting Eze on the wing. I'd go as far to say as we've missed him. You know, he's our captain. You know, we've been without him since Forest away. So he didn't go to Bilbao. He didn't play against City. He didn't play against Port Vale. So he's back for this, and these are the kind of games you need him for. It's that simple. On the right hand side, Bukayo Saka, again a very straightforward choice. Obviously with the injury to Noni Madueke, I feel Bukayo Saka's going to need to be on it, and he's going to need to be the one we are depending on. You know, because it looks like Madueke is going to be out for a long time. So yeah, no, Saka's he's really got to stop performing, doesn't he? And up front as the main striker, false nine, whatever you want to call it, Victor Gyökeres. These are the kind of games like I said a moment ago that we bought him for. You know, if you don't show up in this game and you don't score in this game, or you don't look like scoring in this game, the amount of chances I've seen this brother had, and he's fucking heading it over the bar, tapping it wide, you know. He really needs to start getting his act together. He really does. It's that straightforward. So, but yeah, listen. Obviously that is the 11 that I'd go with. That's the 11 I think Arteta's going to go with as well. Let me know your thoughts down below. Do you think that's strong enough lineup to go with? I personally think that is. I think it's a really good lineup to go with. I feel we can't really go with much more other than that, really. So yeah, listen, we got to play this, get the 3 points, get it done, and then we move on to Champions League action in the midweek. Olympiacos at home. So yeah, listen, like, share, subscribe, do what you got to do, and I'll see you for the match review tomorrow. I'm out of here.